All Aspen University students are required to abide by Aspen University's academic integrity policy, as outlined in the university catalog. The academic integrity policy is built upon the concept of honesty, truth, fairness, respect, and responsibility. By taking this exam, I agree to abide by both the academic integrity policy and the rules outlined on this exam. With this recording, I am attesting that I have personally completed the comprehensive exam and that the information I submitted is true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. Hi and welcome to my presentation. I am Gracian Briscoe, a doctoral student at the Aspen University, and the course I'm doing is Problem-Based Research in Action by Professor is Dr. Lisa Reason. Please take a look at the action research proposal outline. It is as follows. Let's do the background. Employee retention has been a persistent issue plaguing both the private and the public sector for quite some time. Employee retention has shown that motivation has it as merit in that it has the capacity to boost employee satisfaction and as such encourages them to want to keep their current jobs according to Welsh and Brantmere 2021. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 2021 turnover rates have reached a record high of 16.3 million, largely due to layoffs caused by pandemic. Turnover impacts retention. However, the key to nipping employee retention in the bud is to firstly to ascertain why employees are leaving their job, according to Recognized 2022. Some ways to boost employee retention include, but not are limited to, providing employees with progressive opportunities, showing appreciation to their undertakings, organizing culture and community matters, soliciting their feedback, and being very transparent with them, according to Recognize 2022. By by examining motivation as a factor that might alleviate employee retention in the private sector organization can have lasting benefits of employee productivity and turnover levels. The need for this research has been further highlighted in the lasting impact that employee retention can have on the organization, but not also that it can also have on the country or on the country's economy. I'll now go into the problem statement. The problem statement states that the average employee remains in job for less than over 5 years. Women leave within 3.9 years. Men leave after 4.3 years. Employee is a serious issue in any organization, or employee retention is a serious issue in any organization. It can affect both the country's workforce and also the country's economy as stated. The research questions. I have three research questions. First one is, to what extent does motivation impact employee retention? Question number two, how can motivation encourages resilience in the workplace? Number three, how does motivation increase performance in the workplace? I'll go now into the hypotheses of the research plan. Motivation has a major effect on employee retention. Number two, private sector organization that motivates their employee have fewer employee retention issues. Employees who are motivated tend to perform better in the workplace. I'll now delve into the summary of my, my research plan or the research plan. The proposed action plan will explore the impact of motivation on employer retention in the private sector organization. The motivational strategies will be implemented in one department of the organization for 4 weeks. Data collection will be done, data will be analyzed, and data collection will be compared. An assessment of implementation will be done based on the motivational strategies that are implemented within the workforce. I'll move on to literature review. The employee turnover and retention dilemmas have been perceived in many industries worldwide. The work environment is a major factor examining employee turnover research, and it shows an average of 27.1 voluntary turnover rate for newly graduate individuals according to Christmas 2008. Many studies have examined the causes of employee turnover, but have neglected to investigate the sources and effects of employee turnover, according to Ungary 2007. It is apparent that retention seems to be a recurring problem in organizations all across the globe. High employee turnover is causing increasing unease in places such as, an example, China and also America, typically due to the growing internal job market competition within its economy. And this is according to NE 2021. Motivation can impact employee retention. It can help to retain the key workers and also engaging workers in an essential factor. Sample. Before the collection of data, a sample of regular employees as well as supervisory or managerial employees of a specific private sector organization will be selected as the main stakeholders. Random sampling will be done. Criterion sampling, purposive sampling will be done. Observational checklists and also journal entries will be carried out for effective results to analyze, or for the results to be analyzed effectively. Data will be collected from two major sources, namely the primary source and secondary source. The primary source is basically the surveys, interviews, observational checklists, and journal entries, while the secondary sources are published research papers and other papers, articles, and online database. Method research procedures, online surveys, criterion, sample-based, face-to-face interviews, importance of participants' viewpoint. Now we're going to take a look at the cycle. And we start from the research procedure, data collection procedure from the look cycle. Preliminary surveys and interviews with primary participants will be done, and survey interviews with other stakeholders will be conducted too. Guided conversation benefits and online surveys will be done where interviews are concerned. The think part of the phase or the think stage, and reflecting and analyzing of data will be carried out. Using or analyzing data and categorizing data will be done, and it will go into different teams, and everything will be analyzed according to the teams. So if information can be carried out and results can be done properly or garnered with properly. The ACT method within data collection procedure. Additional data from the primary participants. That's number one. Research observes employees, or researcher would observe the employee in the workplace as on a daily basis. I would have to be there to see what is happening. And information recorded on checklist, observation by workers by managers of workers by managers. Managers make journal entries, relevant documents used to analyze the data itself. Continuing of the act, interviews with primary participants, of which I stated before, interviews with the supervisory and managerial employees too, as we have to find a common ground also, and to find out the why employer retention has decreased. Evidence for analyzing from journal entries. Analysis from journal entries. Description of intervention. Research procedure. Data analysis, collection of data, recording data on charts, analyzing of data, comparing the pre and the post data implementation. I will also analyze data based on observation. As stated before, I would have to be in the organization and observe what is transpiring. And after that, then I'll observe it based on the checklist and also the the manager's journal entries. The action that I would take, comparison of theme, analysis show improvement in attitude, and the data that I would have researched within the checklist suggests a positive impact, would practically suggest a positive impact on employee views and as outlined, and attitude as outlined. The results are the findings. Um, Practically, the findings would suggest that the primary participants' viewpoints would improve. I would practically observe that the improvement in the employers and the employers' resilience. Observation records suggest improvement in employees' performance on the job. Suggestions is based on one of the limitations that I would practically have to encounter as the investigator or the researcher is the time that would be allotted. It might be limited, and as such, I would practically suggest intervention strategies for it to continue for a longer period of time. I will also do checkups to determine what changes are being sustained, and also the organization could collaborate with the Human Resource Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our presentation, and the conclusion is results aligned to the findings on motivation. Managers can improve motivation or strategies all over that will help assist employee retention. Other organizations can consider similar intervention from once the strategies, the motivational strategies have worked, and the further research may uncover the factor affecting retention. And last but not least, a successful action research requires appropriate data collection method. I thank you, one and all.